Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because we're diving headfirst into the media maelstrom that's got the internet ablaze and talk shows scrambling for ad breaks. The explosive showdown on Piers Morgan Uncensored, where comedian extraordinaire Ricky Gervais, the man who roasts Hollywood egos like they're marshmallows over a bonfire of atheism and animal rights, was unceremoniously kicked off the set after a verbal cage match that left host Piers Morgan red-faced and viewers howling with a mix of shock and schadenfreude. It was October 8, 2025, just 2 days ago in this whirlwind week of political upheavals and celebrity meltdowns, when the episode aired live on Talk TV, drawing an unprecedented 1.2 million viewers, spiking higher than Morgan's launch night Trump interview, as word spread like wildfire through Twitter, X, hashtag Gervais vs Morgan trending globally within minutes, memes multiplying faster than rabbits in a Ricky stand-up special. To set the stage, picture the sleek, high-tech studio in London's bustling media district, all glossy black panels and LED screens flickering with chirons screaming, uncensored debate, faith, fakes, and free speech, the air thick with the scent of fresh coffee and the faint ozone hum of overworked cameras, as Piers, the former tabloid titan turned TV provocateur, struts out in his signature pinstripe suit, tie knotted like a noose around his neck, ready to grill his guest with that bulldog tenacity that's made him a fortune from feuds. Ricky Gervais enters stage left, not with the swagger of a conquering comic but with the quiet confidence of a man who's stared down gods and celebrities alike, dressed in his usual uniform of a rumpled black t-shirt emblazoned with some obscure animal sanctuary logo, jeans faded from too many dog walks with his beloved Labrador Ollie, and that trademark smirk curling his lips like he's already 3 punchlines ahead. Their history is a powder keg waiting for a match. These two Brits, both born in '65, both risen from working class roots to skewer the elite, have circled each other for years. Piers praising Ricky's Golden Globes monologues as brilliantly brutal. In his columns, Ricky firing back on Twitter with jabs at Piers, hypocritical holier-than-thou shtick, like that 2022 zinger about losing respect for the Taliban after Piers' interview, which racked up 65,000 likes and still gets quoted in comedy clubs from Edinburgh to LA. But this wasn't banter, it was billed as a no-holds-barred clash on the big topics: religion, wokeness, the death of comedy in a cancel culture apocalypse, and from the jump, the tension crackles like static on a bad phone line. Piers kicks off with a softball, leaning into the camera with that faux matey grin. Ricky, mate, you've built a career on slagging off sacred cows, God, celebrities, vegans who cheat with bacon. From The Office's awkward silences to Afterlife's gut-punch grief, you're the king of uncomfortable truths. But isn't there a line? When does satire tip into cruelty? Ricky chuckles, that low, rumbling laugh that starts in his belly and ends in a pointed stare, crossing his arms over his chest as if shielding his heart from the incoming barrage. Piers, the lines drawn by the easily offended, in it. I've said it a million times, atheism isn't cruelty, it's clarity. Religion's the real cruelty, promising pie in the sky while kids starve down here. You know it, you've grilled priests on your shows, watched them squirm over scandals. Why pretend there's offense when we're both on the side of sense? The audience, a curated mix of 200 strong, half cheering Ricky's bluntness, half Piers, loyalists clutching pearls, erupts in a wave of applause and boos, the split-screen graphic popping up to tally likes in real time, already 62% for Gervais. Piers, unfazed, pivots sharply, his eyes narrowing like a hawk spotting prey. Fair play, but let's talk hypocrisy. You rail against virtue signaling celebs, yet there you are at the Globes, dropping F-bombs at nominees, making Caitlyn Jenner cry with jokes about her transition. Was that clarity, or just cheap shots at the vulnerable? Oh, the trap is set, and Ricky springs it with glee, leaning forward, voice dropping to that conspiratorial tone he uses in Derek for maximum intimacy. Cheap. Piers, comedy's expensive, costs you your agents, your invites, your sleep. Caitlyn laughed. The room laughed. Vulnerability's not a shield from jokes, it's the point. You of all people should get it. You built your brand on storming off GMB over Meghan, calling her lies while ignoring your own tabloid sins. Who's the real signaler here, flogging feuds for clicks? The studio gasps, producers off-camera exchanging wide-eyed glances, the chat feed exploding with oof emojis and Ricky wins already proclamations, as Piers' face flushes, that vein in his forehead pulsing like a metronome to the drama. Undeterred, Morgan doubles down, slamming his palm on the desk for emphasis, sending a water glass wobbling. That's below the belt, Ricky, my exit was principle, defending truth against the woke brigade. But you mock faith, call believers deluded in your specials, yet cry foul when your dog's death gets memed. Where's the consistency, the courage to take the hits you dish? Ricky's eyes flash, the smirk fading into something sharper, more personal, as he uncrosses his arms and gestures wildly, mimicking a preacher at the pulpit. Courage. I've taken hits, death threats from Bible thumpers, boycotts from the pious, lost mates over my views on animal cruelty while you chum it up with fox hunt fans. Consistency. Mate, I'm consistent as clockwork. Life's absurd, gods are fiction, kindness to the voiceless matters more than ancient scrolls. You want courage? Try interviewing the Taliban without losing respect for 'em. Oh wait, I joked about that, and you still booked 'em for ratings. The reference lands like a grenade, the audience roaring with laughter at the callback to 2022's viral tweet, Piers' jaw clenching as he fires back. That was journalism, exposing hypocrisy, not comedy hiding behind, just a joke. Your selective outrage, Ricky, bash Christians, spare Muslims, call it balance or bias. And there it is, the pivot to the powder keg, religion's fault lines, Ricky's atheism versus Piers' agnostic barbs, the debate accelerating from jabs to haymakers. Ricky rises in his seat, voice booming now, that West Country accent thickening with passion, bias. I'm an equal opportunity offender, Islam, Hinduism, Scientology, all get the Gervais treatment. But Christianity's the big dog in the West, so it gets the bone. You defend faith on air, then mock it off, that's your bias, Piers, catering to the godly for clicks while your soul's up for auction. The heat builds, words flying faster, Piers accusing Ricky of cultural vandalism, Ricky retorting with, you're the vandal, bulldozing nuance for noise, the monitor screens glitching slightly from the energy, crew members frozen, one intern mouthing, holy shit, into her phone. Then, the epic turn, as Ricky launches into a riff on Piers' fake outrage, quoting his old Sun headlines on phone hacking while pivoting to modern scandals. Morgan interrupts mid-sentence, standing abruptly, enough. You're not debating, you're derailing, this show's about truth, not tantrums. Ricky, undaunted, stands too, chair toppling backward with a clatter that echoes like thunder, truth. Your truth's a tabloid headline, Piers, kick me off if you can't handle the mirror. And in a blur of motion, security, two burly blokes in black polos, materialize from the wings, gently but firmly escorting Ricky toward the exit, his laughter barking out defiantly, see. Cancel culture from the king of it. The feed cuts to black mid-laugh, technical difficulties, flashing, but not before millions capture the chaos on their screens, the clip going supernova online. Post-kickoff, the fallout's biblical. Ricky tweets, kicked off for telling truths, Piers, fancy a rematch. Bring your Bible, racking 2 million likes, Piers counters with a statement, Ricky crossed lines of respect, no room for toxicity here, but fans smell blood, petitions for Ricky's return hitting 500,000 signatures by dawn. This breakdown's just the appetizer, the layers of their beef, the cultural chasm, the comedy conundrum in a fragile world. As we peel deeper, remember, in the arena of ideas, sometimes the exit's the ultimate punchline. Picking up the threads of that seismic severance, let's rewind the reel to the undercurrents that made this clash not just inevitable but incendiary, tracing the tributaries of tension from their first frosty encounters in the aughts, when Piers, fresh off editing The Sun and scripting his ascent to CNN glory, interviewed a baby-faced Ricky post-extras, probing the comics, dangerous, atheism with a smirk that masked unease, only for Ricky to flip the script. Piers, you're the expert on danger, hacking voicemails while preaching privacy, how's that for divine intervention? The room tittered, but the seed was sown, a rivalry ripening over years of parallel paths, Piers storming GMB in 21 over his Meghan monologue, decrying victimhood culture, while Ricky's Afterlife series that same year dissected grief without God, drawing 40 million viewers who debated Ricky's harsh humanism in forums from Reddit to Reddit's edgier cousins. By 2025, with Piers, uncensored cemented as Talk TV's cash cow, averaging 800,000 nightly amid Brexit bitterness and culture wars, booking Ricky was a coup, a promo dream of two titans tilting at windmills, but producers whispered warnings in pre-tape huddles, keep it light, no God talk grenades. Yet light's not in their lexicon. The segment opens with feigned felicity, Piers toasting with a mug of uncensored brew. Ricky, from sleuth paper salesman to global god baiter, you've weaponized awkwardness into art, but doesn't afterlife prove there's more to loss than, it's just atoms? Where's the spirituality in your sarcasm? Ricky sips his water. Always water, no booze for the vegan vigilante, eyes twinkling mischief, spirituality. That's the opiate, Piers, Marx nailed it. Loss hurts because we love, not because some sky daddy's testing us. My dog's death in Series 3 broke me, but I wrote it raw, no heaven harp BS, just human howl. You get that, your life's a highlight reel of loss, jobs, marriages, dignity, yet you chase higher power, guests like their lottery tickets. The barb bites, referencing Piers, divorces and GMB implosion, the audience split laughing, one heckler yelling, "Preach, Ricky," prompting Piers to wheel on him. Oi, this is debate, not stand-up, save the cheers for the cloisters. Redirecting fire, Morgan leans in, voice oily with faux empathy, Ra's fine.